Welcome along to the Broken and Unseen podcast, hosted by my humble self, Joel, and my brother.
Big Sam.
So today we have with us a very special guest. You might have seen him online, and some of you might have known him from the gym floor, but I've known him for so many years, and he's my very good friend. He's someone who is dedicated. He does not only breathe and live fitness, he lifts people up in so many ways. And today we have him. We are humbled to have him here. And we hope he's going to help shed more light on fitness, on many ways that can help you live a healthier life and be more resilient. And like I said before, we've been talking earlier off camera about a lot of things, and you will get to see him on a different perspective and you'll get to know a lot about him. So, bro, welcome to the podcast.
Nice to see you. Thank you for the nice words. I'm happy and honored at the same time to be here. I'm really happy that you guys took the initiative and, started this podcast because I feel like a lot of people will benefit from this initiative, and maybe they will get the help that you guys didn't have when you guys came across all the problems with your injuries, and your careers stopped because of that. So I'm really happy to be here and hopefully to help everybody who's watching, just be more aware, maybe prevent some stuff that you guys went through. And if they in a tough spot, maybe we can help them out, and help them be better and get well.
Okay, thank you. And just to add to what you said, maybe I already know, but I think the audience will want to know, like, what motivated you to get into fitness?
Like, I think I've been a sports person my entire life. As you know, I have played football as well, but not like at a high level because that was just not in the cards for me. But I've been around football players and I've done sports all of my life. So naturally, when I found fitness, which started off like bodybuilding, because at that time people were only training like bodybuilding style, but I always knew that I have to do something to be in better shape physically, not just to lift weights or to have bigger muscles, but at the same time perform better. So when I started off lifting, I tried to just get my hands on anything that I could, get my hands on and read and educate myself in more matters, not just like training, but also anatomy, physiology. And I think the thing that made me want to choose this profession as a trainer is the moment I started helping friends of mine, that were in need of advice. And I saw that my input was so big in their lives, and it changed them because obviously when you change physically, your self-esteem goes up. You are happier, you are more content with yourself. So I think for me that was the thing that made me want to do this as a profession and start coaching other people, just like helping them do better in life. So yeah, that's the long answer, but the short answer is I started off because I like to help people. I love to help people, and you know I feel like that's something that I want to do my entire life. Even if it's not just physically, maybe another aspect of coaching is just being able to know somebody and help them,
Yeah.
like listen to their problems and give them advice. I mean, I really like that aspect as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, not that you mentioned that you're actually a very good listener.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thinking back, there are a lot of things. I remember when we started training, it was, I think you were the first coach per se who made me realize that being a football player or being an athlete is not just about showing up to training every day and going back home to sleep and things like this. I learned from you that it starts from the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you carry on your daily lives, and most importantly, recovery. So now, leading to what I want to ask you now, what's a part of your journey that people don't usually see that made you say, okay, fitness is something that really affects people in a way that they don't realize. For example, um, where we come from, people usually don't go to the hospital unless they get sick. So, and I learned from you first off to say, I remember one time you told me, you asked me a few times, like, when was the last time I went for a random checkup and things like this. So,
Yeah.
what's that part of you that, what's like your in your journey? What's that part that people don't usually see?
The part, yeah. So sadly, as you said, where you guys come from, people don't go to the doctor until maybe they feel that something's wrong. And I feel like it's the same here in Romania as well. So I'm trying to get people to not be in that situation where they need to feel something's wrong. I just want them to realize that um, you need you need to take care of your body, and you don't have to wait until your body tells you that it's time to do something about it. I mean, a big part of coaching is making people realize that they either chose well when they started to do something, or it's time to choose to do something about their health, their life, because as you said, there's more things to fitness than just going and working out. I mean, a day has 24 hours, and if you go and work out, it's probably 1.5 hours of your day, but the most impact that you can bring to your life is the rest of those 24 hours, what you do in the meantime,
Yeah.
because working out is not the hard part, recovery is.
Okay.
And as we were speaking before the podcast, and I told you less is more, and people don't realize that. But when it comes out to training, you only need to train as hard as you can recover. So, as you were saying, like when it comes down to health, and nutrition and sleep, I feel like you need to prioritize those things, and don't wait for your body to tell you, like, listen, you're sick, you need to go for a checkup.
Yeah.
I encourage people to, as I encouraged you, like I encourage people to go and maybe have a random checkup once a year. That would be great. Have some blood drawn, do some labs, and see if everything's okay. Because after a certain age, like your body is not the same as it used to be. Like maybe in your 20s, you can
Yeah, we
you
know
can
that.
go out.
We know
You
that.
can go out. You can work out hard and recover. And feel okay. But after a certain age, you cannot do that anymore. You
So
need to pump the brakes.
one other thing before I let Sammy ask, I think he wants to ask something, and you mentioned about sleep.
Yeah.
So there is, right now there's a debate on social media about how long you're supposed to sleep. You see people online. Someone says I sleep for 5 hours. I have to be productive. Some other people say you have to sleep for 7 hours, 8 hours. So you are the coach. What's the ideal, or what's the ideal time you're supposed to sleep for to be able to be at your best?
At your best.
Yeah.
Like, right, for this matter, there's plenty debates right now going on, but there's, like, I came across a lot of studies that imply that you should sleep at least 7 hours a night. And I totally agree with that, because uh when you're sleeping, your body is basically taking the time, to not do anything else and just recover. Neurologically, muscular recovery is happening during sleep. So if you cut that time down to like 4 or 5 hours, because you want to be more productive during the day, your the most important thing that your body needs to do is limited. So I would say, from my experience as well, like I always take the things that I'm reading and the studies that I'm reading, and I correlate them to my own experience, to my own life. And I would say right now you would need to get at least 7 hours of sleep per night in order to recover well and to function well the next day. So for all you people who prioritize your task and everything else, like, don't do that. You need to sleep if you want to perform better, and if you want to have better mental clarity, and just have a better life.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. It's like you're talking to me actually, because prioritizing sleep on theory, we know that it's very important, but creating a balance also is very difficult, to
Yes.
create a balance to sleep and your daily activity, take care of your things, but we'll get back there. But I want to ask you quickly about because I actually check your pages. I'm not joking. So I see that you interact a lot with your clients and you follow up. But let me ask you quickly about your training philosophy. Is it something that you kind of derived on your own or by studies? Because I think now if you look at the social media everywhere, a lot of people you do this follow up like okay, this is on trend now, let me follow. This is going on now, let me follow.
Yeah,
But
what's trending?
yeah,
Yeah.
you manage to stay consistent on your own way, your pattern. How do you get to conclusion that okay, this is my philosophy? And how do you relate your philosophy to your clients?
Like, that's a very good question, actually. I don't know if I have a philosophy, but I do have some principles that I apply, in terms of training, because obviously I've been lifting weights, probably it's probably like 18 years since I started lifting weights as well. And it's a lot of trial and error, to be honest with you, because as I mentioned in the opening, when I started working out, there were only things related to bodybuilding, in terms of, general information for people to do. I mean, it wasn't like weightlifting or other sports that were done behind closed doors, because obviously you didn't have access to like a weightlifting gym or a boxing gym if you weren't a member. So, um, yeah, I started off by, just taking the information that was available and applying it, and through trial and error, and obviously with time everything just got better and better. People started to notice more that there's a need of information in this fitness field and in this lifestyle field. And I just tried, I just tried everything that I read. I tried to correlate with the information that I already had, or with information that I already had on a different matter, like maybe anatomy or mechanics or other stuff, that I was already knowingly uh, having a good grip on. So yeah, I cannot say that I built a philosophy, but I do have some strong principles, that I apply myself and my clients included, because I would never ask a client to do something that I'm not able to do, even if we're talking nutrition or recovery or anything else. So, yeah, the short answer would be trial and error and applying a few basic principles that I have seen that work over time. And, just trying not to complicate things, because we live in an era where trends are really, really, you know, coming and going. Like, you see every 2 years you see a new trend in terms of fitness. It started off with TRX, then it was functional training. Nowadays everybody's like a science-based lifter. Everybody does only scientifically proven exercises. So it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of trends, but I only apply, the basic principles, and this is what I stick to. Me and my clients, we just apply fundamentals and progressive overload, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you very much for that. But um, a lot of athletes today, or who wants to go into gym, or anybody, what would you easily see, or how would you put it? How would you say it? Like, maybe, I don't know, a common mistake. Let's put it as a common mistake that you see from people going into fitness today, and that you wish they avoided or they didn't have to start up with? How would you relay that?
I would say I see two major mistakes that people are making, like right off the bat when they start doing fitness. And one of them is uh, taking role models from people that are not relatable to them. So if you go into a gym and your role model is a fitness influencer that you saw randomly online, and your goal is to be that person, to look like that person, then you started off on the wrong foot. Because uh, the thing that's really, really good about people is that nobody's the same, and
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. And you always have to, to set your goals based on what you can achieve, on what your potential is. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. So that's the first mistake people make. And the second mistake people make is they don't allow themselves to progress. I feel like everybody wants to start doing fitness to be in better shape, but they
Mm.
don't have the patience to do it. Everybody wants results overnight. And this is something a lot of people take advantage of, especially in this field, because everybody is promising results in 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 8 weeks. And
Yeah.
for some people that's the perfect thing to hear, because they're like, yeah, summer is 12 weeks away. Let's just do
Let's
that,
just do it, yeah.
and I feel like when you have such high hopes from something that's so hard to achieve, you're gonna be in a lot of disappointment after you see that things are not as easy as they seem, and results don't come as fast as you would want them to come. So
No, of
that's
course
the
it's
two
not.
biggest mistakes: not having the patience, and setting goals that are not really achievable for you.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm gonna make myself an example here. I usually give it as an excuse, like off camera. Maybe I make a lot of excuses not to train. But before now, I always say to myself, I never want to be, bulky. I'm big enough, keep fit, keep all the shape. I, the only reason why I train, I go to gym is to eat.
Okay.
So he can eat and tell himself he's training.
You understand? Is to eat because I'm a food person. Like I eat a lot, I cook a lot, so I don't want to be in a situation whereby I can't eat. So I keep training. Many years ago, back in Greece, even he knows. We go to train at midnight. We come back and we're cooking.
Just imagine we go to run. So let's say we go to run at 12 midnight. We come back, let's say by 1:32, and he's making a pot of, I don't know, jollof rice or a pot of fufu for us to eat, which means like we were talking about before. So a lot of people don't know that your diet has a lot to play
The
on your
most.
fitness. Yeah.
The most. Like, yeah, I hear that all the time, even myself included. Like, I have clients who honestly came to me and said, I have no goals, I just want to be able to eat.
I mean, food is
It's
good.
sad.
Food is good.
Like, yeah, food is really good, but
Yeah.
at the same time, people need to understand this. uh, in order for you to balance out a bad diet, you would need to train so hard. Like, I me personally, I think it's not possible to balance out, not to overcome a bad diet, but to balance out a bad diet, because people don't really realize that if you have like a good workout and you work out for about an hour, you're lifting weights, and I'm gonna turn away from this subject just a little bit, because I want to tell people something, a big secret that they need to know. So if you work out for like an hour lifting weights, a man of your size, of your weight, they would probably burn like 600-700 calories, which is good. It's a nice it's a nice deficit. But if you think about it, if you eat like 3 pancakes with something on top, that's your 600 calories. So just imagine if you're like a food person and you just want to enjoy all the food in the world, you know, just imagine how much you would need to train just to compensate that, you know, like
I think he eats like 1,000 calories at the goal.
I mean, I chose that. There's no court case for eating. There's no crime. There's no charges.
But I have a question.
I'll
I
take
have a
2
question.
hours of workout just to eat.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know if you know this. He used to play American football. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, okay.
He has an argument which he stands for. He says when he used to play professionally and he played for more than 15 years.
Yeah.
He said he was on no dieting. He was eating McDonald's every single day. So do you think your body type has a role to play?
Yeah.
Because some people, for example, if they were to eat, let's say KFC, McDonald's, fast food every day, they will explode. But if you look at him and he tells you he eats KFC every day, you will not even believe.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing right here with him is probably related to his lifestyle, because people don't understand this. For me personally, there's two separate things: losing weight and losing fat. Okay? If you want to lose weight, it's simple. You just have to eat less than you consume. So for him, for Ocho Cinco, you know, I mean, I've seen a few football drills. You know, I've seen those guys work out. I'm very sure he did that same routine that everybody does. So they're like working out for like, they probably have like 2 sessions a day, and their total workout time is around 4 hours minimum, you know, and that's hardcore workouts, you know. And he's a big guy. Like how much did he weigh? Like 110 kilos, and he was lean, as you were saying. So his daily intake, you know, even though he ate McDonald's, KFC, maybe he had a sweet tooth, you know, if you don't exceed that number of calories that you are able to eat without going over, you know, so if he's like 100 kilos and he's all muscle, he could probably eat like 3,000, 3,500 calories a day just to keep himself, just to maintain, you know. So that's before his physical activity. Then you add 4 hours of working out, you know, which probably would be another like 2,800 to 3,000 calories. So there you go. There's 6,000 calories that he could have eaten without getting fat, you know.
Bro,
so
wait, sorry. You make perfect sense there. But back in Africa, when you're trying to get into a team or get an opportunity to get out of the country, you want to play pro, you want to whatever, the way they drill you is worse than the military. I mean, I'm not talking about the European military. I'm talking about the military in Africa. When you go into the military in Africa, it's like there's a gate there. It's written, no turning back. You know, it's written, and you saw it, and you went in anyway. So the drilling is crazy. That's how they drill you. So when I got into Europe, like I came with 85 kilo. No, that is all started from Istanbul. Then in Istanbul, until I got to Greece, I hit 95 kilo. I stayed there because it was necessary for me to have weight. I was skinny. I was bragging to everyone that there's nothing I will eat in this world that will make me add weight, have belly, because everything was okay. Then, I don't know, somebody told me, he said, no, wait for it. I wake up anytime I eat, I don't have problem. I was training a lot. I never had issues. Then I moved to Romania, bro.
He said that. He said that like Romania. I moved to Romania.
Is that this Armani and Mitch?
And then everything changed.
Whatever. But no, in 10 years, I think, looking at me right now, how would you estimate my weight? I'm like 2.5, right? 205 right now in height. Okay. 2 meters 05. Would you think I'm over 110 kilogram?
Yeah. I do. Like,
bro.
like you are 2 meters tall. Like, how? No, let's circle back. How much do you think I weigh right now?
I'll give you 85, 88.
See, 80. I'm 93.
Damn.
I would have given you 90.
See,
Yeah.
so it's weight is something that for me for me it's not relevant. Because your body composition has to be right. You're not fat. Like, I mean, you used to be.
Shunker.
You used
You
to
know what
be.
they call it?
Maybe you used to be like all jacked up. Like the abs coming out, your obliques. But as you said, that was 10 years ago, man.
In 10 years, I added
10 years.
10 kilos.
Mhm.
So
that's-
from 95, I went to 105. I was encouraging myself.
Yeah, he was
It's
really
okay.
skinny.
It's
But
okay.
it's still like not fat.
It's okay. It's okay. In the last 3 years, I think there was +5. I'm not sure. I couldn't check. But I'm thinking now I'm around 112, 115 right now. And I want to get rid of maybe 5. I want to keep it at 105.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I'm gonna be a bit mean right now, but you could use like 5-10 kilos more, or you could use those 5-10 kilos.
And
if-
add it to muscles.
yeah, you could add some muscle. Like, look at his legs, man. Like, Sam,
I mean,
you're a tall guy. Your thighs should be like this.
This one right now, I have no muscles here because
See?
I'm still recovering from this.
Yeah,
I haven't put any weight here. At some point before my injury, it was really good. Like I knew my legs were my problem, but they are not growing. What can I do? I mean, if I start to eat,
like if I would
this
have,
place is growing just for this place to grow.
Like-
They don't grow.
like if I would have $1 for every time people told me my legs are not growing, what should I do? Oh, let me tell you what you need to do. Train them twice a week. That's what I'm doing for the past at least 10 years.
I have to visit you.
Okay.
Joe, wait.
Yeah.
He gave his word, right?
Yeah,
We will see on the other side, actually. They did it grow. For
I will make them as thick as this table.
let's go.
Okay.
signed.
Yeah,
Contract
so-
signed.
Back to you, bro. Back to you.
Back to me.
We've been talking a lot about lifting weights, dieting, and everything. And we are on the Broken and Unseen podcast. And for the audience to get an idea, so this podcast is all about those moments that people don't really see, like the you behind the scenes, the you in the shower, the you, I don't know, in the bathroom just by yourself. And so I want you to tell us, and I want you to tell the audience who, like, what was that moment in your life, or was there any moment where like you felt like everything broke for you, mentally or physically or emotionally? Because even Cristiano Ronaldo, who is like the fittest guy ever, he's 40 years and he's still playing, he's still scoring goals.
Yeah.
Some few months ago, I heard there's a psychologist, I can't remember his name. He's a big psychologist. He was telling a story about how Cristiano contacted him because he was not feeling well emotionally and he needed an expert to talk to. So please tell us, like, what's that moment in your life?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I did have a moment like this when I somehow stopped training, maybe not really training, but I haven't been at the same level as I'm right now, or at the level I was before that moment. For me, it was the lockdown when gyms got shut down. We couldn't go outside anymore. But for me, it wasn't really this. As you know, I have 2 kids, and my daughter, actually, she was born during that time. And I feel like that's a moment of reconnecting myself with this motivation to work out, because during that time I really didn't feel like training. I didn't really feel like dieting. I didn't really feel like anything. I just felt like I needed to be more present in her life, and I would say I had like maybe a couple years when I just did the bare minimum, you know, and I felt it like mentally I wasn't as clear as I'm right now, because for me training is also therapy, you know. When I put on my headphones and I'm getting in the zone, you know, I can, you know, I can solve all my problems right there on the spot, because that's just what training is for me, you know, an escape, uh, a way of blowing off steam, because obviously, you know, life has a lot of ups and downs, and for me fitness and training is a therapy for, you know, just dealing with that stuff, you know. uh, I may have a bad day, but after I finish my workout, I have bigger self-esteem, you know, I have a clear head. I already know what I need to do, you know, in terms of solving my problems, or like I do get a bigger boost, and I do see the bigger picture after I work out. So for me it was probably around 2020 2021 where, you know, I just felt like I need to prioritize my family life over fitness, but at the same time I just felt like if I completely give up training, then I wouldn't be well in the head, you know.
Mm.
So that was for me like one step back, and then of course when my son was born, again I had like a couple of months when I just didn't could take myself to the gym, you know, train as hard. But once I realized that I need to do this in order for me to function well and to be well with myself, I just, you know, that fire just got lit back up, and I've been going strong ever since then. So yeah, I feel like there's times in everybody's journey, even if we're speaking about fitness or life, where you have downs, but it's I think it's how you deal with that, you know. I mean, how you get up from that low that you're in, that's defining you as a person. So yeah, that's when my low was during the pandemic, and when my kids were born. I feel like that I feel like that's when, you know, I struggled the most with my fitness motivation. But right now, I can tell you that I turned my kids into my main motivation, and
Like a
I'm
purpose.
I'm training. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
training, and I'm trying to be a better version of myself every day, just for them, you know, to be able to be there for them, to help
Mm.
them, to guide them through life, because obviously I would like them to adhere to the same lifestyle that I have or I had as a kid growing up, and why not right now as a as an adult, you know, doing
Yeah.
fitness.
Yeah. So, now that you mentioned the pandemic, so I remember during the pandemic or before the pandemic, I had just recovered. I think I had just recovered, and I was trying to play again before the pandemic. But then when the pandemic hit, it was like everything came crashing, you know. And I think a lot of people, if not everyone, was affected in one way or
Yeah.
the other by the
Yeah.
pandemic.
That was
And
when also I crashed my car. You
yeah,
remember?
and
It's
so
crazy.
my follow up question was going to be how or what motivated you. But as you mentioned, your kids, and I would say congratulations by the way,
Thank you.
because the last time we met, you were supposed to get married, and you remember you invited me, but I was
Yeah,
in Bucharest at the time, so I couldn't come.
yeah,
So a lot has happened along the way,
it
and
did.
so what then would you say to someone who is like maybe giving up, or who feels like they never will have time or maybe the energy to like do it or to get fit or to stay in shape?
Whew.
What would you say to them to motivate them? Like,
Like, first of all, they everybody who thinks remotely about starting, you know, to, you know, work out, or they need a motive to be in better shape, or they need something to drive them, you know. And sadly, as you said prior, like most of them decide to do something about it the moment they see that something's wrong, you know. Like they're like getting tired going up a flight of stairs, or uh in my case, like I do have a lot of friends who have kids right now, and they see that they cannot keep up with their kids, or they're not able to do stuff they used to be able to do. So my advice for people is to look in the mirror and just analyze everything about their life, and just to see if they are content with what they can do right now physically, because you need, for you to be able to start something like this, a journey like this, you need to be able to see very objectively where you are right now. So if anybody wants to start working out and take care of their body and their health, they need to look in the mirror and ask themselves, am I content with where I am right now? And if the answer is not yes, then they need to start looking for solutions. And in my experience, if you are not well physically, starting to work out is definitely something that it's going to help you, and then the other aspects follow, the self-esteem, the endorphins, because obviously when you work out, after you work out, you do have like a great benefit in the endorphins that are released, and you have a better state of mind. As I told you, your mental clarity is better, and you can take on things that's really seem like are impossible before you did that. And at the same time, working out is making you uh being in a hard place, and see that it's okay to be in a hard place, that you
Yeah.
can handle it. I mean, this is the thing that for me is the biggest motivation, that day in day out, you go out there, you work out, you take your body through very, very rough stuff, and you're still there.
Yeah.
It's, if you do an analogy with life, like life will throw bad things at you, but if you're still there, and if you're still standing, that's proof that you can do it, and you can do harder stuff than life throws at you. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you feel like you're not motivated, just look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I content with what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And I think 99% of the people who do this will see clearly what they need to do.
And like, so how do you maneuver with being a dad, a husband, and then trying to build your online audience again? How does that work? How do you maneuver with that?
It's hard, but you need to prioritize things in life, because I hear this all the time, I don't have time. But if you look at your daily schedule, like, you could see that maybe after you go home, you eat something, maybe you just lay around for like an hour browsing on your phone, or watching some Netflix series, or whatever.
Yeah.
Being a dad, and being a, like being a dad and balancing out the working out part is not easy. But I choose to work out when my kids are either at school, or not at school, at kindergarten, because they're small, or when they're sleeping. I could sleep more, but I choose to go work out because I want to be healthy and strong for them. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of priorities. If you look at your daily schedule and you really organize it, I'm pretty sure that 99% of people would have that 1 hour a day
Yeah.
to go and work out, because that's all you need. Like, you only need an hour a day to
Okay.
do it.
Just before he's a dad as well, so he would have
Hey,
some questions.
congratulations, Dan.
Yeah, but just before he
Dado.
asks, like,
Plenty.
what's the one thing that fatherhood or being a father has taught you about strength and vulnerability? Being vulnerable, like, what's that one thing that
Whew.
fatherhood has taught you?
If I would to be poetic in this thing, I would say that my biggest strength is my biggest vulnerability as well. My kids,
Yeah.
like, they're they're the thing that drives me the most, but at the same time they're my weak spot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if something would happen to them, my whole world would come down, you know. But at the same time I would be able to move the whole world for them. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Vice versa.
that's what fatherhood brings you, you know. It
Yeah.
brings you a different perspective, and I feel like people should realize that having a child brings a big responsibility for you as a parent to be more present, and you cannot be more present if you're not healthy, you know. So I feel like everybody who has kids, you know, should just like take a step back and look at how they would like to spend the rest of their lives, you know, with their kids. Like I want to live as much as I can, just for me to be able to support them and help them throughout their life as much as I can, you know. But how am I going to do that if I'm weak, and you know, if I'm getting sick, or I die, you know. If you die early, your kids cannot enjoy you. So
Yeah.
I feel like it comes with such a big burden, you know, being a parent. If you look at things the right way, I feel like it comes with a big burden, because it's your job to stay in your kid's life for as much as you can, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
This is more of emotional for me when you were talking about it with your kid during the pandemic. You know, you had reasons to not go on, but you saw a bigger reasons to go on. You found a purpose in your kid. Like I always say that the kids are not the problem, but they complement you being a human being and being a dad at the same time. Only today, I don't know what just came over me in the car. I was telling Joy that I feel like I should do more, you know, for my kids. Like, I think I should do more. Like, I need to leave more memories, you know, because I lost my dad when I was 6, you know,
Sorry.
and I still, I was 6. That's about 30 years ago. But I still remember 1 or 2, 3 memories we had together, and that never left me. And I'm asking myself, what is this thing that I need to do? Something is missing that will keep undying memories in their lives. Maybe I should do more. We'll get there. But when you talk about how you find a purpose because of your kid, that was really strong because uh, yeah, this is strange for me. Not strange, but it's really strong because a lot of people tends to use that as an excuse, like you said, and
They
give
do.
up. But you did not. You moved on with it, and you create an atmosphere for you to be there for them, make time for them. That's a really a strong mentality you had there. So how would you relate this to people who strongly struggling to find to create or build a mental strength? Because we can talk about fitness, physical, how you will like now to tomorrow. But if the mental strength is not built first,
Yeah.
Idejaba, let me put it in Romania, is for nothing, you
Yeah.
know. And so how do you relate to people struggling first to build the mental strength before talking about the physical strength?
I feel like these two aspects are really, really going hand in hand, because as I was saying earlier, you know, the moment you choose to work out and expose your body to hardship, go through hardship, and see that it's okay, that nothing's gonna happen, you're developing your mental fortitude as well. Because, you know, if you do an analogy, life is hard as well, but you can overcome that hardship if you just keep on going, you know. It's the same with physical stuff, it's the same with the mental stuff, you know. It's just, you just have to keep going, you know. And for you to be able to keep going, you need one of two things: either you need a motivation, or you need discipline. Because motivation will at some point fade away, you know, or it's gonna be less intense, and then you need to be disciplined. And that's what you need to do. You just need to go do the stuff that you don't want to do. If like, do the stuff that you don't like to do, even if you don't like it.
Even if you
Yeah.
don't feel like doing
Don't
it.
feel like
in,
it, yeah.
in
Yeah.
addition to that, bro, you deal with a lot of people, different characters,
Yeah.
different personalities. Now, I'm gonna come here with an example. 7 years ago, Joel here posted a video on his Instagram appreciating you. But he didn't just appreciate the work you did with him, he criticized himself. Even though I come late, you never complain. You never discourage me. You said to me, it's better to come even for 30 minutes than doesn't show up at all.
Yeah.
You encourage him for being late. So he's a late comer, but you encourage him. And I'm sure you have a lot of people like that. And mentally, that is consuming.
It
you know,
is.
having to deal with different personality. So using Joy, for example, because it's something I remember how he put it. And I'm sure he was appreciating you, your effort, because I've seen a lot of fitness coaches, a lot of coaches. The only reason why I didn't turn into a coach after I didn't play anymore is because I don't have that patience. I'll punch my player.
Yeah, and
I'll punch him.
let me just say something. Like, that was really life changing. What you did, and you might not remember, or you might not have maybe noticed, but it was really life changing because, I mean, at the time I was struggling with a lot mentally, and nobody could really understand what I was going through. And as men, as we all are, sometimes there are certain things that you like. If even if you talk to someone about them, they will not really understand. And at the time, I was going through a lot, but then I could still push myself. Like, you pushed me so much that I felt like if I'm coming late or if I don't come to the gym, I'm failing you, not failing myself. And that was like something that really motivated me, and it changed my life for the better.
Yeah, but that's like, it's really nice to hear that I really impacted you in a way with that. But to come back to your question, it's really hard to deal with people because obviously everybody's different. Not everybody knows what it means to be on time, and I feel like this is where people misunderstand what we're really doing as coaches. Because the general perception of what I do personally is that I go to the gym, I sit down, and I just tell you, like, do 3 more, do 1 of this, do 3 of that. People don't understand that this thing really goes beyond the physical part. It goes beyond the listening part, as Joel said, because many times, people just come to the gym because they just want to blow off some steam, and they maybe have something on their heart. They want to discuss it with somebody they trust, and obviously they turn to you because they're in a they're in a vulnerable spot when they're in the gym, because obviously you put them through something difficult, and they tend to open up more easily to you. So for me, I feel like a coach's work goes beyond the physical part, and I like to think that I'm helping my clients, in every aspect that I can, because I feel like that's my calling. I help people, and I do it in various ways, but at the same time, that's the thing that motivated me to be a coach. The fact that I can help people and I can impact their lives in a positive way in either aspect I can.
So he
So
was right when he said, you don't only lift weight, you lift people.
Yeah.
yeah, like, I would like to think that, like, I'm doing my best to do so. I Many times maybe I can, but sometimes I can't. But you know how it is. As long as you have small wins, for me, even the things that Joel said right now, they just like boosted my confidence, and they gave me a reason to smile and to try to do better for my clients, because that's what makes you be a better coach, a better person. Feedback like this, when you know that you impacted somebody in a positive way, it just becomes addictive. You just want to do that for as many people as you can. So yeah, thank you for that, Joel.
Yeah.
That really made my day, and I'm definitely going to do better by my clients.
Now, this one is
Good job.
actually for the audience. Whoever is watching, I can guarantee right now that you don't need a better coach. He's here. He's
Yeah.
here. You remember
I don't know if you remember, like when we used to train, I would go to training and I had some guys who were playing the team who were used to you as well, like Burler and some of the
Yeah.
guys. Like after they would call him and say, "But what are you doing to this guy?" Like when we go to play games, like 75 minutes, 80 minutes, everyone is tired. That's when my engine is rebooting because
He's
of
cutting everyone
yeah,
off like cut class.
because of the extra work we were doing together, you know. And for so it helped me for such a long time. Even when I remember even when I signed for League Two, I was miles ahead of everyone because of the preparation.
Yeah, but that's all the work that you did, you know. Remember, I remember a thing that I told you when you were on the bike and you were doing intervals and you were tired, obviously, but you weren't complaining. So that's one aspect that I always found fascinating about you. You never complained. It's hard. I can't go anymore. Like he was probably one of the best type of clients that you have. I told him what to do and he just did it, you know. And not just he not just did that, he went the extra mile every time, you know. So if he had like 10 intervals, he would do 12 or 13 because he understood. And I remember telling you a thing about football in general. If you're not worried about the fitness aspect of things, you can do the other stuff
The other
better,
stuff, yeah.
you know. And
Now he said the standard. Did I say we signed a contract already? I mean, let's keep it for later. Like,
So I mean, we've done almost 1 hour, and so my getting towards the end, I want to ask you like, what's something that you're excited about right now? I mean, social media is going crazy now. People can do a lot of things. A lot of lives can be impacted in positive ways. So like, what's something you're excited about that's you're looking forward to?
Înainte să răspund, te rog un pic mai la dreapta. Așa, mulțumesc.
Right now, I'm really excited about the fact that sports in general are getting more attention, and people started to understand that they need to start taking care of their bodies because there's a nice saying that goes around nowadays, and they say you will live in your body for the rest of your life, so start taking care of it.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like that sports and working out is getting more attention. Other aspects of life, you know, like I see a lot of people that are promoting, you know, postural things, you know, things for your posture, things for better mobility, which are key aspects of life, you know. Like if you have good mobility and you have some strength, you know, you definitely are a functional person. And I'm really excited that all of this is getting more and more attention. And you know, there's some downsides because that creates, you know, a lot of room for some people to come along and say, okay, I can do this in less time. And there's also a lot of people who misinform. But at the same time, you know, publicity is publicity. Even though it's good, even though it's bad, people are aware that they need to do something about their health, and that's making me really really excited. Like I really like that because at the end of the day, that's what you want people to realize that they need to take care of them in order for them to have a better life.
Right.
okay, I'll add to that. Right now, Cluj is going crazy in every aspect.
Yeah,
Financially,
financially.
fitness-wise, everything is inflated. Everything. Now, what's your future goal professionally as a sport coach or fitness coach? Do you have any plans for collaborations with some international coaches, or you want to build your own community?
uh right now, definitely I would definitely want to keep building my own community. In terms of future plans, I really don't have one. I mean, I'm just trying to stick to what I know best, you know, just try to help as many people reach their fitness goals, have a better life. And, you know, I'm always open to new opportunities, especially if they're taking me out of my comfort zone, because I'm pretty competitive in that way, and I really like to, do stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm here, so
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm pretty excited about doing what I'm doing right now. I'm happy. I love what I do, and you never know where life takes you. So
Yeah.
I do want to have some more certifications in order to be able to work maybe with professional athletes, because right now I don't have the formal certification. I do have the knowledge. Maybe Joel can vouch for me. He can tell you if I do or I don't. But yeah, professionally, that's my goal. Maybe to get a few more papers that prove that I do have some knowledge. And for the other part, I'm just open to whatever life throws at me. I don't really have a plan. I'm
Yeah.
just
I think the most important thing there is that just love what you do.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
I do. I do love what I do, and this is why probably I kept on going for all these years, because I don't feel like I'm working, except the waking up part in the morning. That's really bad, but
Yeah.
other than
He
that,
knows that.
Yeah.
it's perfect. Like I really love what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can talk on and on and on, but I think we are almost done. And it's not a coincidence that this is like our first guest is my first coach where everything started. And thank you for coming. We are really grateful.
It's an
And
honor.
to the audience, we will put on the description his Instagram, his Facebook, so you can get to him. He's the best coach out there. If you want to get fit, if you want to be healthier, if you want to live a better life, he's your guy.
And he listens.
And he listens, and he listens. So it's been the Broken and Unseen podcast with my humble self, Joel, with my bro.
Yeah, Big Sam has been here all the way, but there are many to come. Thank you very much for being here.
See you
We
on the next
appreciate it.
one.